Are we really live? What are you looking for?
The messages that I make sure they can be visible. Okay, I'm gonna sit here for 1 second, make sure people hop on and that we can see messages. So it doesn't say anybody's on yet, but we'll give them a minute.
Okay.
And, oh, it says somebody's on. So, hi guys. Can somebody just type in the chat, because last time we had some issues. Thank you so much already for the thumbs up, we really appreciate it. But last time we had some issues that we couldn't see your chats. Perfect, they're there, awesome. So I'm gonna come sit next to Adam and he's gonna tell you all about his week back in prison. Yes, for real. Hi guys. Hey, hello. We'll give you guys a minute to hop on because we didn't announce this one. It was a last minute video idea that Adam came up with because you're awesome. All right, I'm coming around. Yeah.
Wow, look at this.
Yeah, little man's getting big. Can you guys hear us okay from this far away? Just let us know.
I definitely cannot see that far, so I'm relying on...
You want me to push it closer?
I'm relying on your eyes.
Clearly we're a little rusty. It's been a minute since we've done a live video, obviously.
Is
They
that
could
good?
hear us. Yes, we're good. Okay, go ahead.
Right. Well, I guess, it's been a while since we did a live video. And for me, last week definitely instigated a lot of different feelings, a lot of different emotions that I was going through because I spent most of the week back in prison. And let me just clarify. I was there by choice.
You went to prison by choice? You surrendered?
I
What'd you do?
went back to prison by choice. I volunteered to go in and do a training, a 3-day training at one of the minimum security prisons here in Nevada. They're getting ready to open things back up, and many of the individuals in this prison, this minimum security, are getting ready to go back out into the community. Most of them are close to release. Some still have a few years left. But this is a work release center, and they've been locked down for the past year due to COVID. So it was great to get in there to kind of generate some of that excitement. And unfortunately, a very close cousin to excitement is fear, right? One of my favorite quotes, something from Developing Public Speaking, was the only difference between fear and excitement is the breath. Right? Think about that. Like when you're scared,
Yeah.
you're holding your breath, and when you're excited, like you're breathing, you're engaged. That's the only difference. Like when you're excited, there's a level of, I guess you're relaxed to a certain degree. Like excited, but relaxed. It's not fearful. You're not tense or anxious. So anyways, got to go in there and work with this amazing group of, whoever that is, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kylie. We appreciate it. She said treat yourself to something.
Oh, that was
Thank
beautiful.
you so much.
So for me, I feel like that's part of my purpose. I feel like my responsibility is to make sure I'm doing everything that I can to help others avoid, the situation I went through. When I was younger, I went to prison. I thought I had it together. I got out and it all fell apart, right? So getting to go back inside prison, but I get to walk out the door at the end of the day. Talk about a whole new experience. And for me, I went in there to be able to teach, and I didn't know that I had 8.5 to 9 hours nonstop consecutive talking. Like, she's the talker, right? I rely on her. Whoa, shock, right? Shocked.
I'm so shy.
Right. So to get in there and to be able to share all of my knowledge, my information, my experiences, and a big part of, the question kept coming up, like, you've been out how long? I've been out a few months. It's 8, 9 months at this point. For me, it feels like probably a lot longer. But the questions keep coming up, like, how did you do it? You were away for 20 plus years, and everything comes back to her. Because whenever I talk about motivation, what is it that gets you up in the morning, even on those days where you don't, who was that?
Kayla.
Thank you, Kayla.
It's your cousin Kayla.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
that was so nice. So even on those mornings when you don't feel like getting up and you're like, why am I doing this? You better have a really good answer. And for me, this is one of the things that I talk about. For so many years, it was her. It was her because of the sacrifices that she made coming up to see me 6.5 hours. Like,
Stop, you're making prank
oh. So all of these things, like, I get to go in there and talk about this and how fortunate I was to have someone who supported me in that way, who demonstrated that sort of love. And, you know, so many other questions then come up, like, well, how did you guys do it? She was with you for how long? 12 years. Like, what? That's crazy. And so how did you guys build this relationship? And how did you transition from being so used to her being on the outside, me on the inside? You know, like anything, we fall into a rhythm, a routine. And even though we didn't have that out date, like, we spent many years planning, preparing for that transition. So when it did happen, like, we were ready for it. And obviously there were things that we didn't expect. And we've talked about those challenges, but it really comes down to our communication, our ability to communicate, just to be open and honest with one another and really articulate our feelings. And these were things that took practice. Like, we had to learn how to do these. Neither one of us had that experience in previous relationships, right?
Exact opposite. I could never be vulnerable because, well, first of all, I didn't trust the people that I dated as much as I trusted you to be open and vulnerable. So I always had to be that tough chick that, like, I didn't care. Nothing bothered me. We didn't talk about things.
And, you know, we've talked about this numerous times. The time that we got to spend together through visits, through emails, through phone calls, and how valuable that time was for us and how we made the most of it in really getting to know each other and communicating those fears. And at the same time, it wasn't just addressing what was going on the inside. It was, okay, how are we going to support one another through this? And as we were both learning and growing, and we've talked about taking a life coaching course together. Who's that? Thank you so
Sarah,
much.
thank you so much. God bless you both. So inspirational. Thank you.
So as we were taking this course together and we started reading books together, there were things that we did on a daily basis to check in with one another, to support one another, to encourage. Like, all of these things became part of our routine. So it wasn't like, it's not by chance. And I think people, you know, lose sight of that. And for me, this past week, being back in there with all of those individuals who are getting ready, and they were so curious about our relationship and getting to share what we did, what we've done in this transition, and like where we are now, and to be able to map that out, I was like, this is really valuable. This is something that we need to do a better job of sharing that with all of you.
Yeah.
So that's something we were talking about over the weekend, like, how are we gonna do this? And we're working on that now, trying to figure out what's the best way, because you guys have given us so much. You've been here to support us. We want to figure out how we can best share that, all of those experiences, share our success with you. And hopefully it helps you, because I know that most of the people, from what I've seen, really want to figure out how to improve their relationships. Like, I think that's why most of you, you know, keep coming back, want to hear from us. It's not, I mean, I'm a little biased. I think we have a pretty incredible story, how everything's worked out for us. But I don't want people to think that it's like magical or mystical, you know, like, I want to be able to tell people, like, this is how we did it.
Yeah.
This is how we got to where we are. Because I want to see that for everybody. You know, what I've seen is that too many people, you know, go through this experience and they spend years waiting for their loved ones, or even people on the outside, like people I see on a daily basis who I know are not happy in their relationships, but they just keep going through the motions. They're like stuck in that routine, but it's not a good routine. Like they're not excited. When I leave work every day, I probably drive a little too fast. Shh, don't tell, you know. I'm in a hurry to get home. Like I can't wait to get home and walk through the door and see you.
But I'll wait 3 extra minutes because I want you to get home to see me.
I know, but like to me, like that's what makes it all worth it. Like I'm excited. I hate leaving in the morning, but I know I'm gonna be back and I can't wait to get back at the end of the day. I think everyone should have a relationship like that. Like
everyone deserves a relationship like that.
Yeah.
Not the distrusting, accusing, spying, like that kind of stuff. That's miserable. You think it's love when you're in it, but that's miserable. And are you
I was just gonna say, wherever your relationship is right now,
yeah,
even if you think you're really struggling or if you think it's pretty solid, I promise you there's room for improvement. Like we spent a lot of time, oh my gosh, thank you. I wish I
it
could
went
see.
away. Oh shoot, I couldn't even see who it was. Thank you so much. I'll go back and I'll read the comments after the video, but go ahead.
Wherever your relationship is, like I'm sure that there's even more you can do. Like there's room to grow. We're constantly looking for new ways. Like one of the latest, I'll give you an example, is reading every night together, although
I passed
you
out
don't always
the last
make it
couple times.
too long, but I'm reading something that interests me, that I hope interests her, and that we believe is good for the baby to hear. Different leadership principles, and he might not understand the words, but I think he understands the intent. So, but
he also hears your voice, because as I was sitting here, I don't know if you guys saw me jumping in the beginning, but when he hears Adam's voice now, because he doesn't hear it all day long, he gets really excited. And so he kicks me, he hasn't moved like this all day long, he kicks me really hard when he hears Adam's voice. So, it's like a family thing.
Yes, and that's what we want. We want to help everybody build stronger families, better relationships, and I mean it's time that we give something back. So that's our focus.
Yeah, and I want to add this. So you said earlier something about how it's hard, because I don't remember how you worded it, but people on the inside have to kind of get a little shut off to things emotionally, because it's hard to live, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's hard to live in that atmosphere when you have one foot in the outside, one foot on the inside. I remember us having this conversation very early on. It was a hard struggle for Adam to kind of find how to toe that line, because they were living in their own little society in there, and it's different out here. And when you especially have a life sentence and you open yourself up to those possibilities, it's very different. But also, on the other hand, we as the outside half that's doing time, we develop this crusty exterior, and I think our independence kind of becomes our identity. And I had a lot of people throughout the years tell me, like, I'm afraid for when he comes home. It's as much as I want it, I'm afraid for it, because I don't know how I'm gonna integrate him either into my life or back into my life. And I can say honestly that when it happened for us, it wasn't seamless by any means, but it was easy, because we did the hard part for all of those years. And I always told everybody when I coached you guys through that, I get it, it makes sense, that's what you're holding on to, that's what you have to hold on to, it's coping. But on the other hand, this is the time that you invested all of those years for, because you want it so bad. But work for it now, work for it during, because it'll make it so much easier afterwards. And I think that's why we had such an easy transition. And people half the time don't believe us, like, yeah, right, like tell us really what went wrong. Honestly, it was not perfect, because nobody's perfect, but it was easy.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to give to you as a gift, because like Adam said earlier, you guys have given so much to us. We want to help you in any way that we possibly can as well.
I think that's about it.
You're hungry.
I am starving. I couldn't wait to get home and have dinner. You know, it's funny that this is my favorite place to be now. So I'm happy to be home. You ready for dinner?
I am ready for dinner. One more thing really quick though, when you were talking,
Yeah.
when Adam was saying that we were talking about this just came up. It was something that we were doing it when, do you remember when it came up? Yesterday, what we were doing together?
Which part?
When we talked about this, the whole, how we wanted to give back and.
Not even.
We were climbing a mountain. We were working out together, but that was something that we cultivated in our relationship for all those years. It was something that we bonded over as well. So I just thought that I don't know, that stood out to me when you were saying that.
No, I think there's a lot of things that we do together where I don't know if all couples like spend that much time together. Like we focus on the things that we both enjoy doing together, and we spend a lot of time doing that.
Yeah.
You know.
That's it. That's all I just wanted to add. We know it's late on the East Coast and we need to eat dinner,
It is,
so.
yeah, the time differences.
Still struggle a little bit with it.
We've been out here how long, and still like, yeah. So
We love you guys.
we love you guys, and we will see you again soon. Yeah.
Yeah? Mwah.